Wait. Namaste. Today I will be talking on one aspect of life which almost all of us go through, and that is the aspect of parenthood. Parenthood is one of the biggest blessings of life, and it becomes even more of a blessing when the children grow up well and become good adults who are rooted in Dharma. Parenthood or having a child is one aspect of life which makes you go through all the navarasas of life. That is, be it Shringara or Raudra or Bhayanakam or Shantataha, all these navarasas come into life when we become a parent. Anybody who thinks that being a parent starts with the birth of a child? No. It starts with Shringara itself. Because without love, without romance, without the attractiveness, you cannot really think of becoming a parent. Because then becoming a parent or conceiving a child would just be another mechanical activity. A lot of importance has been given in our culture to how a child should be born and what should be followed when you want to have a child. For example, we have so many stories like that of, let's say, Adi Shankaracharya's mother praying for a child, or so many other stories where parents have done tapasya and prayed for a particular child to be born with all the good qualities. We also know how in the Ramayana, Dasharatha and his wives participated in the Putra Kameshti Yajna to have a child. So, obviously, if you want to attract the right souls, you need to align yourself properly to the souls who are waiting to be born. Keeping this in mind, I will be now talking about mainly two characters from the Mahabharata, that is Kunti and Gandhari, to explain a few things about parenthood and how children can be brought up. Now, if you see in the Mahabharata, this thing of how a child should be conceived is shown right at the beginning itself, when even Bhishma was born, and then later when Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura were born. When Vyasamuni is sent for Niyoga to Dhritarashtra's mother, she was not able to look at his rupa, and she closed her eyes, because of which Dhritarashtra was born blind. Same way, Pandu was born with vitiligo because his mother turned pale because of fright when she saw Vyasamuni. But Vidura was born wise because his mother, with full awareness, conceived her child. Now, not just all this, Mahabharata also talks about the use of taposhakti to have children. Both Gandhari and Kunti had taposhakti in them. But it was Kunti who used her taposhakti to bring forth some of the best children of her times. Gandhari, on the other hand, even with her taposhakti, could not bring out the best child or the best children, because she herself was always unsure of herself. She was insecure. She was always scared, and not just this, she was not treated very well by Dhritarashtra either. Because of which, when her child was born, or her children were born, they too were born with those qualities. They were never content with whatever they had. They were always insecure, even though they were princes. They always wanted more. They were insecure about whether they would become the king of Kuru Rashtra, and they always they used different methods other than their own effort to achieve their goals. For example, I mean, if you go to see, Duryodhana wanted to take away land from Yudhishthir when Yudhishthir was the one who put in all the efforts to bring up Indraprastha. After that, he wanted to take away Indraprastha from him by hook or by crook. This is not dharma. This is not how a child should, let us say that a child should be molded to follow dharma, and that is one thing that was lacking in Gandhari. Now, Kunti, on the other hand, made full use of her tapobala and the blessings given by Durvasa Muni to bring forth children. She was also generous enough to pass on the mantra to Madri, so that Madri also could conceive children. This was a very good example of generosity, and Kunti's children carried forward this feeling of generosity in them. Now, when the children were to be conceived also, Pandu, he first called for Yama, who is Dharmaraya. That is, he is the Lord of Dharma, who knows exactly what is Dharma. He called him forth so that the child that would be born would have all those qualities in him. Because Pandu knew very well that without Dharma, you cannot have a flourishing land, and it is only with Dharma that the people, the rishis, the gods, all will be pleased and satisfied. And Kunti was of the same opinion. She too was such a knowledgeable soul. So, first thing is, while conceiving a child itself, be like Kunti, not like Gandhari. Have full faith in yourself, be happy, attract the right qualities in the child, in the soul that you want to conceive. Second thing, teaching children about Dharma. Now, if you see in Kunti's life, she always had problems throughout, and her children also, like even when Bhima was given poison and all those things in the Varna Vrata event and all that, they always had problems. But Kunti had seen to it that her children never displayed a feeling of victimhood. She knew what was Dharma. She taught her children to follow Dharma to the T. Never disrespect elders, even when you are not happy with them. You may tell them about it, but not with a harsh voice. Secondly, she had a very balanced view of life. She knew that everything was temporary, and she knew how to take everything with equanimity, and she taught that to her children too, because of which they too took all their problems with equanimity, and only when the time came did they fight back in favor of Dharma. Whereas Gandhari, she never stopped her sons from doing kutark. Okay, and even even in the court and everything, when Duryodhana or Dushasana would behave wrongly to the elders in the family or to their gurus, Gandhari was never in a position also to stop him from doing that kutark. We see this in today's families too, where children, they always debate or argue just for the sake of argument, and there is not a soul to stop them from doing that. Another very important thing is that Kunti never gave in to anger. She never cursed anyone. Even though she had so much tapobala, she never used her tapobala to curse anyone or to harm anyone. Even after the Dyuta Krida, she only, as a very matter-of-fact manner, she told Dhritarashtra that his sons would be destroyed by her sons. Even after the war, though she had also lost her grandchildren and everything, she did not get angry on Krishna. In fact, she asked him that please keep giving me sorrows so that I remember you all the time. Gandhari, on the other hand, gave in to anger very fast. Even after the Mahabharata, though she knew that her sons were the people who were on the side of adharma, she cursed Krishna that his whole kula also will be wiped out. Now, this we see in today's families too, where parents, instead of placing the blame on the child who has made a mistake, end up blaming each other, or let us say blaming the teachers or blaming their friends or something, whereas actually the blame has to be squarely on the footsteps of the child. The child has to learn how to take responsibility for his own wrongdoings or for his own shortcomings. This is a very important lesson that we can learn from Kunti and Gandhari. Another very, very subtle thing that one can learn from Kunti also and from Gandhari also is blessing the children. When the war was to take place, Kunti she has told her sons that may dharma win. The reason why Kshatriya mothers give birth to children has dawned. So fight for the victory of dharma. Gandhari did not bless her son to become successful, but when the war was almost coming to an end, she blessed Duryodhana with so much strength that his body became as strong as a diamond. So she did not want him to die. So this was a misuse of her tapobala. She was actually, that means siding on adharma. Now this is something that we see in today's world also, where parents, they use their power and money to protect the wrongdoings of their children, instead of teaching them how to use this money and power for a very good cause. It is very sad, and we have to learn from this how to teach our children to become better citizens. Now, one of the very important things is that sometimes parents do not know when it is time to give up control. Kunti, after the marriage of her children, never went with them to Vanvas or to Indraprastha. She did not claim the title of Rajamata also. She lived a very simple life. It's a very important thing that one should learn. On the other hand, Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, even after Indraprastha was made, were not able to relinquish control over the kingdom and give the reins of the kingdom to Duryodhana, which made him more and more frustrated. Now this, is very visible in today's life also, where parents, even when they have reached a certain age of life, do not give control of their house or their businesses or, incomes. Or, of course, a certain amount could be kept to oneself, but having undue control over the business or the house only leads to more frustration in the minds of the children. And one should know how to lead an old age with dignity. So to sum up, I would like to say a few things again. One is, bring forth a child, give birth to a child, only when you are ready and in the right frame of mind, and attract the right souls to yourself. Do pray, take the help of God to bring forth children who will follow Dharma. Second, teach children about Dharma right from the time they are born. Ensure that they learn how to lead a life of high moral character. Third, accepting the situations, even the worst of situations, with fortitude should be done first by the parents and should be taught as an example to the children. Do not blame others for your problems. Teach children to respect elders and teach them the value of getting blessings from the elders. bless the children appropriately, and do not allow them to misuse your power or your money or their position in society. Give up control of your children when they have grown up and started their own families. That's it from me. Dharmo Rakshati Dharma. Namaste.